Resilience is a term that we hear more and more frequently, especially when we talk about how to deal with the increasing frequency and impacts of disasters and climate change. However, there is no one definition of resilience, and resilience can mean different things. I'd therefore like to reflect on what resilience means in relation to disaster risk reduction, and particularly how ecosystems and ecosystems management can enhance community resilience. Simply put, the wise management of nature will help us be better prepared to face the challenges of climate change. Linkages between environment and disasters are now well recognized. On the one hand, environmental degradation can cause or exacerbate disasters. On the other hand, disasters also have negative impacts on the environment. We should note, however, that nature provides solutions and can play a role in building community resilience to disasters. Healthy and well-managed ecosystems, such as reefs and wetlands, perform important functions that can influence all three components of the disaster risk equation: hazard, exposure, and vulnerability. Firstly, ecosystems can mitigate or prevent the occurrence of particular hazards. For example, mountain forests in Switzerland and other alpine countries are actively managed to prevent avalanches, landslides, and rockfall. Secondly, ecosystems can serve as natural buffers and therefore reduce people's exposure to hazard impacts. Such buffers include green belts or forests established along rivers and coastlines where appropriate. For example, coral reefs and seagrasses provide up to 40% coastal protection from beach erosion and storm surges in Jamaica. Thirdly, healthy ecosystems support local livelihoods and provide for people's needs, food, water, shelter, fuel, thereby reducing vulnerability to hazard impact. For instance, in Orissa, India, maintaining healthy wetlands helps regulate floodwaters and at the same time sustains a range of diversified livelihoods, including fishing and farming for local communities. Resilience must therefore be linked to the reduction of risks from disasters. Community resilience is enhanced by maintaining healthy and well-managed ecosystems because of the services they provide in reducing disaster risks. In addition, ecosystems provide social, economic, and environmental benefits, including areas for recreation, protecting natural resources, and carbon sequestration. The sustainable management of ecosystems should be regarded as a priority action in all our efforts to build resilience in the face of disasters and climate change. The good news is that several countries are now becoming more aware of ecosystem-based solutions for disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation. After Typhoon Yolanda devastated coastal areas in the Philippines, the Philippine government quickly pledged $8 million towards mangrove restoration and rehabilitation activities to buffer against future storm surge impact. After Hurricane Sandy, the governor of New York set up a $400 million fund to buy back homes from residents in Sandy-affected communities, with plans to convert these areas into green spaces that would function as coastal buffer zones. But there are still barriers to translating ecosystem-based disaster risk reduction and ecosystem-based adaptation into concrete actions. Many of these barriers relate mainly to our perceptions and limited awareness of the solutions offered by ecosystems. One such barrier is the perception that green or natural solutions are not as effective as gray or engineered solutions such as dikes, dams, and seawalls. While engineered measures clearly have positive aspects, they also have downsides, including high costs of construction and maintenance. And let us not forget that engineered solutions fail too, as evidenced by the failure of Louisiana's dike systems during Hurricane Katrina in 2005 and the Great East Japan earthquake tsunami flowing over seawalls in 2011. The evidence of ecosystem-based measures in reducing disaster risk is now well documented. Clearly, complementary measures utilizing both green and gray infrastructure may be needed, but decisions should be based on careful consideration of available solutions and their costs and benefits. Another barrier is the perception that there is a choice to be made between sustainable ecosystem management and development. We find many examples where ecosystem-based solutions are not viewed as barriers to development, but rather as enabling local communities to benefit directly, either in terms of increased incomes, better access to resources, and enhanced protection against disasters. For example, in South Africa, there is documented evidence in IUCN's Working for Water program that proves the win-win outcomes resulting from watershed restoration for job creation, water production, flood and fire risk management, and biodiversity conservation. Therefore, it's my sincere wish that this course will help overcome such barriers in our perceptions about the role of ecosystems. I hope to see more and more examples of ecosystem-based solutions for disaster risk reduction and adaptation replicated, improved, and scaled up. Ecosystem-based solutions for building community resilience can provide the missing bridge needed to link disaster risk reduction, climate change, and sustainable development priorities. So I wish you all the best for this important course.